Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the MANDEM talk. We're back. I am back in Manny. And yeah, man, we got a lot to discuss, people, man. A lot to discuss. People calling it a crisis. People calling it, you know what? Things need to change. Things need to fix up. You know what I mean? Because it ain't easy right now being a United fan. But big up to everybody who's locked in. And a different time, obviously. The game was yesterday, so we thought it would be only right to talk about it the next day. You know what I'm saying? We got man like Rhino in the building. Rhino, what are you telling them, bro?
Yeah, we're here. We're live, man. The Man Them Talk is back, people. Smash the likes. Saeed's come back from overseas. You feel me? The Man Them are here, man. Big up Ty
Jeez.
as always. Big up Leon. You get me? Big up the chat as well, you guys. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Yeah. And yeah, we're ready to talk, man. It's a crisis, man. It's a crisis. It's a crisis, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Got Leon in the building. Leon, man, what are you saying, broski?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Blessed to be here. Big up all the MANDEM. I think Neji said he'll be joining us soon.
Yep.
Moose's dipped. It's got harder. Moose's just disappeared in it. Raw, mad. I'm speechless right now.
Yo, he came
I
with a
was just about to
rasta.
say it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Ain't easy, man.
But, yo, Tyrone Marley's on a crazy.
I want it to be like Rhino.
Hey.
Come on, man. I'm telling you.
My guy.
But nah, big up Tyrone as well. Big up Leon. But Tyrone, man, what are you saying, man? And it's that kind of day, man. You gotta get the dreads out, man. You get me? Like,
Yeah, man. I'm
crazy.
about to I'll have to have a little smoke later, but nah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that. But now, guys, good to see obviously Leon bless up every single time. Rhino, you know what it is, man, as well. Saeed, good to see you back from your travels. At least got to experience it and you got back safely. That's the most important thing. But
100.
yeah, man. I'm intrigued to see what everyone's gonna say because I kind of like that Saeed's been away because we haven't spoke too much about it. So we're all just gonna vent what we feel basically. So yeah, smash the like most importantly as well, people, man. Make sure you do that.
So what we're saying,
Yeah,
Tyrone?
absolutely,
Don't worry.
About
a thing.
every little thing.
Do you know what's mad?
Right.
Earlier on,
Yes,
I was just chilling doing some work here, and Wu-Tang Clan, one of those days came on. It's just a perfect time, and I needed that. If you've heard that tune, yeah, like one of these days it's gonna get better. Oh, bro, yeah, I needed that. So.
Yeah.
Even the
anything.
Sizzler one,
Day.
man. Just one of those days.
Oh, hey, allow
Just
it.
one of those days. But yeah, man.
No.
Look at Saeed trying not to
Every day
smile
feels
and
like
laugh.
Bro, I just feel like every day's like that, bro. What do you mean one day, bro? Every day's like this, man. But listen, we got a lot to discuss, man. Like Tyrell says, yeah, there's over 500 of you already in the building. Make sure you smash the like button straight away. Let's get the algorithm up. You know what I'm saying? Without the likes, there is no show, man. That's what keeps the YouTube channel growing. But I was there yesterday. More hope than anything, really. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone kept asking me outside the stadium. Shout out to everybody who was at Munich, by the way. You know, what's the score going to be? And I was just like, I'm just here, man. I'm just enjoying the atmosphere. I'm just here on a European trip. I might not be here. This was my first Champions League away game. Like, I was just happy to be there. And everyone was putting pressure on me. Saeed, what do you think of the score? Obviously, the scoreline yesterday, I think for me, flatters United. I don't think they were great, Bayern Munich, but it does flatter United because I felt like for me, after 3-1, United kind of ran out of ideas, and it was almost like they were toying with us, and we were just chasing shadows. That's just my own opinion. But we gifted them, I reckon, probably all of the goals, even the penalty. I think every single goal United gifted them. I thought the penalty was harsh for me. I think Ericsson, yes, he gets his hand out there, but where's he supposed to put his hand out? That's the way I kind of looked at it. I've still not watched the highlights, but Bruno giving the ball away. There's so many comical errors in this team. But Tyrone, man, is this a crisis now? 4 losses in 6. Where are you right now in terms of Man United? Because yes, it wasn't the worst loss in the world, but it still is another loss.
Nah, I can't do this. Wait, I can't wait.
Yeah, bro.
Nah, what? Ty, what go?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Yo, Ty, what's going on, bro?
I'll send you one. We look like twins. We could look like twins.
Oh, cool. I want one of them bad boys. Hey, that's sick. Sorry, man, that's bad. You were
know,
lying.
I
know,
You're
I
He
did
sick.
took off the
You're sick.
shades.
You're sick. All that because of Martial, you know. You're sick.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Martial
man.
cameos got me
You're
excited. But
sick.
nah, you know what? Big up
You're
Neji
mad.
for jumping
Same
on as
thing.
always, man. Big up Neji.
Yeah,
Do you know what? It's a weird one, Saeed, because I'm not as deflated as a lot of people are. And this is where I might be in the minority today. Yesterday, it's a bit of a bad attitude, but I threw away the game yesterday in my head thinking, you know, we're going to lose. Whether it's 2-0, 3-2 or 5-4, I thought we would walk away from there with 0 points. The start was very good. I know we didn't create loads of clear-cut chances, but Eriksen should have scored. I'm sorry. The simple line is he hit it straight at the keeper. I thought we controlled the ball.
As well,
Was
you know,
that Reguilon's chance?
Yeah, Reguilon had his little chances as well. I thought we started the game pretty well after that 20 minutes. And Onana, obviously, it happens. He makes the mistake. And, you know, naturally, we've always said about Man United, we've got a bit of a mentality problem at times. And I think that crept in yesterday. I feel like we just went back to type and we forgot to do what we were doing in that first 20 minutes. And what happens? 3 minutes later, we concede again. That's, you know, 2 goals in 2 minutes against Nottingham Forest. That's 2 goals in 4 minutes against Bayern. Arsenal, 2 goals at the end of the game in 4 minutes. So we seem to have this lapse of concentration that we need to sort out quick and fast, because we got away with it against Forest because that team lacked a bit of quality. However, the other teams that have done that to us, we've lost the game because Arsenal have quality, Bayern have quality, and, you know, other teams have quality. So the first 20 minutes was good, conceded, went back into our shells, and we didn't really get ourselves fully back into the game. And then second half, you know, yes, love that quick switch up. Yeah, and then second half obviously was positive again in terms of scoring with Rasmus Højlund. I was thinking, okay, maybe they'll learn from the first half and the mistakes. They didn't learn, Saeed. Within 5 minutes again, they've gone up the other end and scored. So this is not something that's just happened on a one-off. This is a consistent thing of conceding and conceding again. Concentration, mentality, it comes into it both. But like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if people agree. I think Bayern, the name, is big. Bayern, the football team, I don't think they're that good. I definitely think we could have gone there and won yesterday. Liverpool right now would go there and win. Man City would go there and win. Arsenal go there and win. Bayern, the name, are big. But when I look at them and the way they are playing, I don't think of Bayern as, you know, being these German powerhouse giants. This, you know, this team that you think is just like a machine and they're gonna kill you. Yes, they beat us 4-3, but I'm kind of gutted that we didn't get a result, because I think they were there for the taking if we just had a bit more confidence, a bit more, you know, IQ in the final third to get some clear-cut chances. But I'm not as negative as what everyone else is. I didn't think we were going to win the game in the current form we're in, Saeed, but there were some positives the way we finished the game to come from it. But yeah, man, I'm a bit more deflated that we didn't get a result from this Bayern team, because I just don't think they're that good. I really don't.
Is that coming from, though, you're not disappointed because you never expected anything? And I think sometimes that changes the mindset of maybe situations, that if you don't expect anything from something, you don't need to be disappointed.
No, and you know what? I'll answer this. I can come back to that straight away and say the answer is no, because I feel like we are going to get better. 100%. I feel like with Kobe coming back, you got Amrabat, you got Mason Mount, despite what people think, he's still coming back. You know, Varane's coming back, who's our best defender. If we went there with a team that had these players I've just named, I think we can go there and I'll be saying, we'll forget the form, we can still get a result. I was quietly confident yesterday anyway, because I've watched Bayern a lot this season. I do watch German football and I've not been convinced. I watched them draw with Leverkusen. I watched them beat Mönchengladbach in the last minute. Matthias Tell scored. So I know this Bayern team is not, you know, fully spinning at the moment. So that's why I'm a bit like, because we could have used that to get us some confidence, even if we got a draw. But, you know, we've lost 4-3. And yes, I get it. People are saying the score line is obviously a bit of a false narrative. But at the end of the day, we still had some chances to score. We didn't. Bayern still had some other chances to score. They didn't. It could have been 7-5 then, because we still had chances.
No, I hear that. I you know what? I do hear you in some aspects. But I also think, and I come to Leon now, is that they didn't have to be at their best to beat us. And now I think that's a bit damning on Man United, is that now, even Brighton, I don't think came out of first gear. Like they
had a B team, didn't they?
They weren't. And they had their B team as well. Like, I don't think you need to be great to beat Man United right now. Man United lack the basics in terms of just tracking your runners. You know, intensity, play for 90 minutes. Man United are lacking the basics. And this is Bayern Munich. Yes, it's not free throwing and it's not the Bayern Munich of old, but they've still got the basics in their team. They've still got the nucleus of what they're trying to do. And that's the most damning thing about Ten Hag right now, is that we're 20 minutes, but also how easy it is to beat us. I mean, I don't know if this is a correct stat, but we've conceded 3 or more goals now, back to back or something.
Games. Yeah.
In the last 3 games, man. scored 2 or more goals. That's mad. And the
First
goals
time
keep
in
leaking
45
in.
years or something like that. But anyway,
45 years. This is without David Moyes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look, I'm talking about managers who aren't on Ten Hag's level. That for me is not good enough. And I get it, we got an injury-ravaged squad, but I'm sorry, the goals that I'm seeing right now, the way they're scoring, Dalot for me, Leon gets beat too easily. Bruno's giving the ball away. Like it's not like for me, like injuries. That's injuries, but it's also principles of doing the basics, Leon.
yeah, I think both points are true. I think that we're easy to play through, dead easy to play through. I mean, that watching the parallels between Brighton and the parallels between Bayern Munich, even though there were slightly different playing styles of build up, was very, very similar yesterday. I mean, I'm sat there in the second half and I'm watching us just let them play. I'm watching. I mean, I've seen a stat. I'm not really big on stats. I'm an eye test guy in it. So like, but like, 85%. Like the stat made sense with the eye test, in it, that 85% possession for like 25 minutes. I'm just watching us, and that's why I put in the group chat to you, man. It was men versus boys. It was like man with year 7s running after year 11 with the ball. Like they were literally just like, well, there was no pressure whatsoever. Even when they stepped in midfield, there was zero pressure. I was watching McTominay. I know people will start going in on Casemiro and Eriksen and stuff. I don't expect Eriksen to be that good defensively. I just don't expect it. It's just not his game. Casemiro, when you leave the 6 on his, Ten Hag loves leaving him on his own, so he's going to look poor in some games, in it. But people like McTominay and Bruno wasn't, to be fair to him, he wasn't the worst defensively. He was just shocking going forward and decision making again. But we're too easy. I don't get why. When I play ball, I'm not the best. I ain't got the best touch. I ain't got the best shot. But I just work, bro. I just work when I'm on the pitch, innit? When I play it aside, and like, man, are just letting man run like 5 meters next to them and just not doing anything, just jogging. Rashford again. Do you know what I mean? But going back to Ty's point, I think he's got some truth in what he's saying as well. Every time we put a bit of pressure on them, they folded, but we didn't believe for longer than. What would you, man, say for the first 20 minutes? Then when we scored for 2 minutes.
And then maybe 10 minutes in the second half. Yeah.
I would say when we scored, we believed for about 2 minutes. We didn't even believe
2 minutes, obviously, then we go
and
back
then man
to
are just
normal.
walking around like, it's over. Like guys, like, do you want this, innit? And I think me, you, and Flawless spoke the other day, Saeed, and I made a point about, I actually brought your point in, Rhino, where I said, maybe we can get more out of the players that we've got. I think I was wrong, you know. I just don't think they've got it. I think a lot of these players mentally, and I think Flawless was right, man. He said that these guys have been with multiple managers and they do the same thing and put their heads down whenever we lose. Yeah, I just think they're waste now. I think, like, are they technically good enough ballers to play for United or play professional football? They might be, yeah. They might, maybe not United, but professional football. But they've got no mentality. They've got no balls. They've got nothing there in it. Like, how can you just give up? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I know that people go, Musiala was amazing. He was very good. And I don't think Gnabry was very good. I don't think Sane was that good. I just thought that we just said, no, you want to run in that space, bro? Just take that space, bro. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we're conceding goals in the box where managers stroll. Like Pascal Gross and Sane, they're just strolling into the box.
Yeah.
But you know what it is, Leon, yeah? I feel like what I said, I remember what I said at the very start of the season, in context to what I said, the mentality. Remember, I said from the start, there's something wrong with the mentality with these players. When we lost to Tottenham, so I feel like obviously we have to remember there's a lot of things happening at this club, and I don't know if it's partly that as well, and this ownership stuff, and maybe we don't have these players don't have longevity and consistency to maintain it. There's just something wrong. There's no consistency with the mentality. It's like it disappears. Look at the season before Ten Hag came. Shocking. And I think you're right, Leon, and I'm going to even chime in quickly with what Ty said. I'm on what Ty's on, you know. I don't feel as deflated. I just feel like I did expect Bayern to win.
That means you're numb to the pain. That sometimes means
probably
numb to the pain.
Probably that side. I didn't expect much from this game. Obviously, Ty's been watching Bayern, so maybe that might have helped as well. Bayern weren't too great, but I look at it like this, you know. This is what I see. We have, 13 injuries. We are in the worst form ever. Our away form is terrible, and we still got the 4-3. As much as the scoreline hides a lot of cracks and it kind of flatters us, I just see it as, you know what, the other two teams in the group drew as well. I'm just looking at the long term. and looking at the group, you know, hopefully we can make something of it, man. So, but yeah, the mentality is shocking, guys. It's absolutely shocking, and I just hope that when we do have our reinforcements to come in, we can get something out of it. And I want to touch on the fact that Casemiro's been left by himself as well. I think just does play into the mentality, man. I feel like there's certain principles that Ten Hag has set, and the players are not doing it. Whether they're not playing for him, or there's something within them, or it's a bit of both. There's something going on at this club, man, and it's scary times, man. Scary times.
You know what though? Casemiro wanted it yesterday. He just looked around the pitch and he was like, "Yo, did you see that moment on TV when they zoomed on him?" And he's like, "Come on, guys, man, how can I be?"
Yeah. And that's what I'm
like,
saying. So
Ten Hag actually mentioned that in his post,
the mentality.
I want more people like Casemiro, basically singled him out and saying like he's the one that is a DM. He eventually got 2 goals at the end of the game, but he's still, despite yes, I know he looks so on the pitch, but he mentally and on the pitch, he's still connected. He's still going. He's setting an example. That's the best way I should put it.
The man's falling over and scoring with his left foot as he's falling over. He wants it. You get me? Like, and Regulon wanted it. Big up him for
Regulon.
Big up,
bro.
like the only one who wants it. He's one of our best players since he's come in the first 2 games. I'm on him. I'm on it.
Yeah. Regulon. You know what it is though? It just shows you as well when a guy's got a bit of heart, but doesn't really have the technical quality of everyone else. That shows through. That, you know what they say, hard work beats talent, man. When talent don't work hard enough.
Saeed, you say that, but before Regulon went to Spurs, he was our number 1 choice left back, and we didn't get him. He went to Tottenham. So this is kind of, you know, within him, he's maybe got a bit of vengeance. Like, I know Man United wanted me. No, 2 years later, I didn't work at Spurs. I'm going to show you some heart and desire. And there was one moment, even when Regulon, I don't know if you don't remember, first half, Sane ran from the right side of the pitch to the left. Got there. Regulon still got there.
With the outside of his
back. But it's just, you know, look, guys, I'm not even here on a permanent contract, and I'm putting in that extra 5%. You lot need to do the same. And if you get everyone buying into the extra 5%, like Ryan was saying, then you might have a little shift in mentality. But big up Regular. I know you obviously want to, you want to land. But honestly, big up Regular.
By the way, I'm looking at Casemiro and Martinez, and I'm seeing pure frustration with everyone else around them, you know. That's why I think Martinez is getting them yellows a little bit. Obviously, he's a rash guy. He will get them. But sometimes he's like, fuck this. Do you know what I mean? Excuse my French. You know what I mean? He's just like, boom.
He's putting everything in like even tenfold. I mean, this comment here, big up to United TV. Nate TV says, Saeed, I completely disagree with the easy to beat thing as far as yesterday goes. Eriksen, handball, Onana, howler, like, come on, it's just so reactionary. You know what it is here? I don't think it is, because when you look at it, when Bayern needed to do what they needed to do, look how easy it was. How they like when we need to like
and this,
just
aside the cutbacks, it's this cutback problem we have to talk about as well.
You know what I mean? And that's not, when it's no, but I'm just saying when a team needs to put the screw on and do something, they do it so easily through Man United's team. Look at the 3rd goal. That's what I don't want Man United to become a soft team, and that's what I'm getting now with our team. Now we're going through the middle, we're getting bypassed. Eriksen, who I thought had a relatively okay start to the season, now the guy looks leggy. I'm like, bro, that was the worst performance I've seen of Eriksen yesterday. I'm not even lying to you guys. That was a howler. And when he got took off, he had his head down and he just was so embarrassed, man. I mean, Lady G, I'm going to bring you in, man. Would you call it somehow? Do you see it in Tyrone's eyes, or do you look at it and think, you know what, man? Is this how far we've fallen, Man United? Is that we're looking for positives when reality it's not there, but we're going to take it for now, like? Or do you just look at it and think, you know what, man? It's just not good enough, man.
Obviously, first and foremost, shout out to the whole panel. Big up, man. The hat, man. Madness. Love that, bro. Type of positivity we needed, man. I can't even lie. After yesterday's performance, it's mad. But in terms of agreeing with things, I think everyone's bang on, to be fair, bro. I mean, again, it's a case of a lot of things are going wrong at the moment, and there's a lot of things going right at the moment. And I think the more we start looking at surface level things, i.e. player this, player that, Onana mistake this, you know, how can I put it? VAR this and that. I think we don't do ourselves justice, because I don't think we really tackle the main issue every single time. And although those things are accurate, although those things are correct, I just don't believe that it is the source of our problem. And again, I like to focus on the source of the problem. I don't do surface level things unless surface is as far as it can go for me. So I'm calm. I'm cool. I'm frustrated. Yes, I definitely share those emotions. I'm numb at times when watching Man United play, of course. But the overriding factor for me is, like I said, we prioritized in an order that I think has just set us back a little bit too far. And it doesn't mean it's World War V and it's the end of the world. It feels like that. I understand that emotionally. It feels like that. But from just a mindset perspective, it's more so an understanding for me. I have an understanding, or I like to feel I have an understanding where I can see that the performances haven't been as bad. We've been peed off and frustrated at certain times in the game where you're looking at it going, okay, we do 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here, we get a 5-minute spell second half. I understand that. But then if I look at those 20 minutes in isolation and go, if we actually capitalize against Spurs, if we actually capitalize on the times that we, when you start well, if you capitalize and you bag your goals and you make those chances, your mindset automatically shifts because you're looking dominant, you feel dominant, you're more than likely going to maintain what you're doing. And I think everyone's been in a situation where you're positive for so long, and like you could be doing a gym session one day, yeah, and you're racking out bench, you're doing your thing, you feel great, and then you feel so good that you think you can go an extra 5k, 10k, and then you flop, and it's like raw. I thought I had it, and everyone has that little moment, just that little split second, a moment of emotional downness, man. And I think that's what's going on at Man United at the moment. There's so much going off the field that the stakes are a lot higher, and I think every one of those plays, Saeed, just want us to win, just like the fans. And I think when you do enough to score your goals, but it just doesn't sit right with you, or you don't get the rub of the green from officials or whatever, then things feel worse than what they are. And I think the results have been more hard hitting than the actual performances, in my opinion. And that's just my on observation. And I'll finish with this. I'm with Ty. I think it will get better. I can see it getting better. But there are so many factors, sadly, that is just a frustration, i.e. certain players in the team, making sure that, we can facilitate for all the deficiencies within the team that players have. And I think Ten Hag's working with scraps, sadly, at this moment. And yes, we're Man United, so you're going to have the expectation to go and win. And I feel like some of the performances, a mix with a bit of bad luck, have given us the results. And like I said to you, man, before, mistakes automatically disappear the moment you start winning games. You'll be surprised how often you focus on less mistakes when you start getting 3 points and winning. It's crazy, and I think that's just where we're getting to now. Can we start getting on a winning streak? We've started slow. It is what it is, but like I said, I looked at Ten Hag last season. We all felt the same at this point. Is he the right man? Is he doing this thing? And then he just shot out the water. So long as they stay focused, so long as they are committed to each other and are not influenced by us lot who by right can be emotional and erratic, me, myself as well, as long as they are focused on what they're doing and they feel like there's a level of progress, then the fans will follow suit at some point. We want to see wins. I'm sure they do as well. But in terms of going and get those wins, there's a lot of factors we've got to wait for, man, i.e. players, et cetera, et cetera. So it's one of them, man. I'm cool.
No, I hear you. I got a super chat here from Microphone Muted. What a name. It says Bayern have now conceded more goals, 3 this game against United than they did against Barcelona, Inter Milan, and PSG, and Victoria Pilsen last season. 2 goals in total in the UEFA Champions League last season under Nagelsmann. Yeah, I hear that. I absolutely hear that. And I think for me, that's something also that is we scored goals over there. But equally, I have to focus on our record. And our record is not great as well. So as much as I get that, you know what I mean, that they did concede 3 goals, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I want to concentrate on what Man United are doing. You know what it is, Neji?
I feel like, by the way, you're the most deflated out of all of us, by the way.
Yeah. What, you know why? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think there's serious issues with for me, the way the mentality of this team is, man. That I just look at the way we're so easy to play against. That's
sorry, but don't lie. It's because you went to Spain, Senorita settings, then you had to go Germany, and then you come back.
You had to leave her there. Man had to leave her there, innit, Pete?
That's what happened. That's what happened.
No, you know what,
man? Saying, if you go to the game, yeah, don't come back. Don't come back.
You know what it is? No, I hear that, but I was just like, I'm just seeing very, very odd signs, and I don't. For me, I get it. Varane can make us better defensively. I get it. Mason Mount might give us a bit of energy, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. I just think there's glaring holes in his team. McTominay is another example. Did you watch McTominay yesterday? Awful. The guy lost the ball and was like, I don't really need to chase it. and he was just like strolling on the pitch. I think there's certain situations in the manager, for me, he's got certain favourites in the team that he won't take off. I'm just looking at these situations, I'm like, what's going on? Is there a hierarchy in a team? Is there favoritism in a team? Is there players that just can play so badly and not be taken off? I think there's so many issues, and I'm like, I don't know if it will fix just like that. I don't have that confidence to say, you know what? It will work itself out. I'm looking at game by game now. Burnley, we go here. Like, I'm seeing people saying, how many points can we get out of the next 5? No. Let's win game at a time. That's just the way I'm looking at it. We go with Burnley, we beat Burnley. Then we go to Crystal Palace, we beat Crystal Palace. Every game has to be individually kind of assessed, micromanaged, like everything. That's all I can say for me right now. And that's just the way I'm kind of looking at it from my mindset, because I'm looking at us and I'm like, yes, there's positives, but there's also glaring negatives that just override the positives instantly. They override it instantly. And I think for me, that's so bad as a fan, because you always want to take positives out of it. But in reality, it doesn't really mean anything when the negatives outweigh the positives in every aspect of what we're doing. And that for me is sad.
You have
to
keep
it real. I can't just be positive and say, yo, it will work itself out, because I can't see it right now. I really can't. And I think a manager's allowed to struggle. I think a lot of people are reactionary. Sack the manager, this and that. That won't work. You get a new manager in, it'll be the same situation here. We'll play good football, and the same players that are here from the previous manager will bluff the same manager next time. That's just the way I kind of look at it. But I'm like, let the manager understand his struggles, but also I think it will get worse before it gets better still. I still don't think it'll get any better right now. I think it will get worse.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. The fixtures were difficult, but I feel like the way, like me, Rhino, for example, looking at Onaji saying he's quite calm, I do believe that, you know, I know Burnley, I'm very superstitious. I hate it that it's an 8 o'clock, it's on TV, it's Company's probably going to get his first win. All the signs point to a 1-0 Burnley. But if I have to be real with myself, I think going to Burnley, the way they've played, and the way we've played, we should be getting better. Players like Mount Varane potentially should be coming back in. I don't know if Amrabat might make the bench. We should go to Burnley and win. We've then got Crystal Palace at home in the Carabao Cup. They've not got Michael Elise. I don't know if Lerma's back, but still, it's Crystal Palace. No disrespect to them. Where we're aiming to be and where they're aiming to be, we should be beating them at home. Then we've got Palace at home in the league straight after, so we've got them back to back. We then go to Sheffield United away, and then we play Brentford at home. Now, I think the Brentford one might be after the international break, but say them period of games there, with players coming back and a couple home games and Burnley away, I do feel like we have to win these games and have to win them now. If we go into these games and we come out 1 out of 5, I will be concerned. I'll be coming on a MANDEM talk and I'll be like, you lot, I am fully worried, because there's no excuses now with home games and the opponents we're facing. We need to get some rhythm now. We need to get some confidence, and we need to win starting Saturday. I kind of feel like, I'm not saying there's excuses. I feel like, obviously, we played Bayern. Like I said, some of us had a mentality thing of like, yeah, okay, we're probably going to lose it, but let's see how we go. You know, we play Arsenal away. We didn't really expect to go to Arsenal and win, even though their form was a bit, you know. So I think we've had a couple of games where it's kind of like, okay, well, let's see what happens, see if we can perform and pull it to the side. But these are games now where you're going in, and neutral fans, we're all Man United fans. You speak to Arsenal fans, City fans, and so forth. Okay, the superstitious stuff, Burnley first, and forget that. They'll be saying, you don't need to be getting 5 from 5. And we do. We need to somehow pick it up. We need to get these players back going. We need to get these players back in the squad that are coming back from injury. And I'm hoping the wheels can then start turning. I'm like Neji. I don't think it's going to get much worse than what it has so far. The big concern for me is the conceding goals first. We're not scoring first in games. So the fact that we're starting okay, and then we're going 1-0 down to Tottenham. 1-0 down to Tottenham again. Okay, Arsenal game, yeah, okay, we went 1-0 up, but they scored literally a minute later. So we conceded straight away. Wolves, we won that. I don't know how, really. Forest went down 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. It's that pattern of whether we start games well or we don't start games great, we're conceding. And that's driving these players into that mentality issue, to the point that now they're probably getting quite insecure about conceding first. And now they're probably going to go into the Burnley game thinking, oh, we can't concede first. No matter what, how much they're paid or whatever it is, a mentality thing is you as an individual. A team mentality is what you are as an individual. Forget what you're getting paid. It doesn't matter. So now they're going on that pitch. We need to start scoring first in games. If we do, we might start controlling games more. We might put 2 or 3 into the back of the net. Because even when we win games, we're not dismantling teams 3 or 4-0 like we see City do every week or whatever. We're begging 2-1s or 1-0 final whistle, 3-2s, and we're stressed until the 96th minute. I don't want that from Manchester United. And I feel that these pack of games right now, and I might sound so optimistic for no reason to be optimistic, but I do believe the time of these fixtures, players returning, I have faith in Ten Hag. I have faith in these players that they need to turn it around, and it needs to start Saturday. If I come on here with a MANDEM talk and we've lost to Burnley, we beat Palace in the cup, but then we lose to them on the weekend and stuff like that, then I'll be like, you lot, there are stuff we need to be concerned about because we're not even beating teams we should be beating and players are back. But for now, I do see us improving. I do see us getting better. And I do see Ten Hag fixing this. If a manager can't have time to fix it, but people are on loving him when things are going good, then you know what? You don't deserve to really have a manager, because all managers have to go through their tough phases and it makes them a better individual.
Exactly. Ty, you know how
comments.
No, you
go on.
Go first.
Okay, I was going to read a couple of comments. This one here, I want to definitely touch on. That whole midfield needs to change this weekend. And Sam says, hey, Said and Ten Hag out because we can't even do the basics and keep the ball for 5 minutes. This means he's not doing the right things on the training ground, so he has to go. Leon, what was he going to say there?
So my point is not the second half he has to go, because I've come on here over and over again and said football fans are very emotional week to week. We have to give it time. We've got to give it time. We all know in the Premier League, you win 3 games, the table changes. We all know this in the Premier League. So everyone just relax, bro. I agree with Neji and I agree with Tyre in the fact that you can't be too reactionary. Here's my issue, the performances, the application, the belief, which Neji made a really good point that when your belief is down, it is hard to get back up in whatever you do. But there's certain things I'm seeing on the pitch that are unexcusable. Like for example, Rashford walking around for game after game after game. It's unacceptable. You cannot be people when people associate Man United, they associate Rashford. You say, oh, Rashford plays for you guys, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like he cannot be walking around and not pressing. He has to be, the manager has to manage that better. Like whether that's bringing him on in a certain game and then getting him the hunger to come back, whether that's pulling him off at certain times, but the subs yesterday were weird. Like, why would you bring McTominay on when you're trying to win a game? It was weird. It was weird for me. I thought
Hannibal's on a bit of a high than McTominay. Hannibal's probably, you could argue, a bit of a buzz. Bring on Hannibal. What's McTominay going to give you? Like, he don't score goals for Man United. He does for Scotland. He don't break lines. He don't do no mad passes. He don't show you physicality. The guy didn't run around. He makes you worse.
He played him in the 10. He played him in the 10. To me, that's just, I'm lost on that one. But
he's Bruno deeper in it.
Yeah, this Bruno thing deeper as well. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Mandem. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Bruno needs to be in the 10, or he needs to be just on the bench.
I think Saeed's right.
That is the truth. 10 or bench.
He needs to be on the 10 or bench. This
10 or bench.
I agree with what Neji says that he does in certain games. He works his arse off and he gets back, but you can do that from the 10. You can still get back to the top of your box and still nick a ball and rare to. Do you know what I mean? And I understand we haven't got as many players, but we've got to get something in there. Do you know what I mean? Even if we go, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Even if we play Maguire or Evans and we stick Lindelof in a DM role for 20 minutes towards the end of it, I don't know, man. We're stuck in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
you were doing well, Leon, until then.
No, do you know what it is though? I just can't deal with how exposed Casemiro is and how lacking people are defensively. It's just I know.
Amrabat is going to be here, man.
I know he will be.
No, but you know what it is though. For me, a big up to strawberry milk is nice. I don't agree with that. I don't really like strawberry milk. Unbeaten away with Ollie, beat load of top 6 games. Every day Ten Hag is making Ollie look like a king. I thought Glazers would be out by winter. Now it's scary. Listen, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had a record, but listen, the great thing that a player can win is a trophy, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't have that. So I don't really like the revisionism on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Listen, he did his thing. He achieved his goal. He managed Man United, and fair play to him. But reality is, Ten Hag has done better than him by winning the trophy. Talk about style of play. That's obviously, you know what I mean, subjective.
Yeah, Saeed, that's the thing as well. Like, what I don't like people doing is that we seem to just erase the positive things Ten Hag has done. Even when we talk about the negative records that have happened, what about the positive records that have happened? We can't just forget it. So we're going to say, okay, Ollie top 6, but then Ten Hag made Old Trafford a fortress again. We can't, you know what I mean? There's a balance. I understand it, but sometimes
I hear people. You got to be frustrated, and you know what you got to criticize, innit? That's just the name of the game. But guys, I want to talk about the midfield. Yeah, and big up to everybody here. 1.3K here, not even 500 likes. You
Come
man
on,
are
guys,
moving
smash
mad
the
still.
likes,
I
man.
can't lie.
You're fucking,
Smash the likes, people, man. What are you lot doing, man? Hit the like button, people. Midfield, yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, Neji. I'm gonna come to you first of all. Bruno Fernandes, yeah. There's a lot of people that are saying he should be dropped here. I think that's obviously questionable to what people want. And right now, you would argue if there's no Mason Mount, who would you really put in that number 10 role? So I'm gonna let it slide. But what I will say is that he had a stinker yesterday, and the manager didn't take him off for some reason I don't know. Obviously, I believe he's one of his favorites. He's a captain as well. You probably don't take off your captain. But I'm looking at the midfield yesterday, and I'm like, people saying take Casemiro out, put Amrabat in there, and you get a balanced midfield free. I'm like, it's the same problem because then you're leaving Amrabat to do all the work. So I think it's either you play Mason Mount in there, you play Bruno in there, and you play Amrabat and Casemiro, and you actually say, you know what, nobody's going through us, and when we go attack, yeah, we'll get Bruno in there, and we'll attack with a 4. You got the left winger, the striker, and the right winger with Bruno Fernandes, and then the 2 just sit there, and Amrabat can actually go forward when he needs to, but then has that engine to come back. But Neji, I don't know what you're saying, but Bruno right now isn't doing the job for me, man, as a captain as well. And what are you thinking of a midfield balance? Like, where do you think it's gone wrong in that midfield?
I mean, obviously, I can't speak for you. I understand your point. I can't speak for you personally. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got their own. Oh, wait, there. You may want a horn for this, but everyone's got their own preferences within what they want in midfield.
Here we go.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but my own preference, again, if it was me, it doesn't matter to me personally. I'm pro Man United first. I'll never be pro player over situations. This is why when people struggle with my outlooks and outtakes, because I don't get head up on players that I rate or don't. I like to think that when I see a player, I look at pros and cons on every single aspect, and that's because I'm a bit of a nerd on football in terms of just how I appreciate the game. So if a player is detrimental more than positive to my team and squad, and I can look at all the factors and areas and go, okay, cool, you need to be dropped or you need to play, then that's where I'm happy with that. For me, Bruno Fernandes, again, I don't overrate him. I don't underrate him. So what you'll get is when I appreciate something over him, those who don't rate him at all, from a preference standpoint, because they don't rate the way he looks or plays, all they will hear from me is, oh, you must rate him highly then. Because they disregard him so much that they must think anything that's a bit of a shining light on a player, and this is any player, by the way, whether you like him or not, it works both ways, yin and yang. If you give praise for something, it gets shut down because people are heavily invested in, I don't rate him. On the positive side, you've got people who overrate him, who only go off the stats, who only go off things. I look at him and go, yesterday he had a 6 out of 10 performance, the 7 out of 10 because he managed to get the assist, which is something he does. People are outraged at that because why? It conflicts with their initial hate or love for the player. And I've never made my opinions on.
But Neji, what about the eye test? What about what you're seeing when you're watching on the TV?
No, that is part of the eye test.
So what would you say yesterday that would make him give you a 7? Because there's, for me...
No, like I've just said, bro, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. But given the fact that he got an assist and made that creative step, which is what he's meant to do, he gets a 7. The same way.
What made you give him a 6
Bruno gets a 7 out of 10.
What made you give him a 6 out of 10?
Nice,
That's my thing. That's what I'm interested in.
So it's a 6 out, exactly. That's what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? Like even Ty gets triggered off a 7 and a 10.
No, because I thought you said because you said he got an assist, you gave him a 7. That's what I thought you just said.
Yeah, so I would give him.
That's what he does, though. That's what he does, guys.
No, I know, but he got a free kick. Okay, he whipped in a free kick in the last minute, and then Casemiro got a touch in it. That wouldn't, for me, give him a 7 from a 6. Now, I want to hear why you thought that anyway.
Yeah, I want to hear how.
All right, safe. So I give him a 6 because I don't think it's his greatest performance. I don't think he was terrible. To the point where when people talk, most of them sound like they're giving him 1s, 2s, and 3s, and that's the thing I look at and go, you mustn't have watched him objectively. Because if I watch someone objectively, I have to take my bias out of something. And this is the thing, and this is what I'm trying to say to people. Just because I'm objective doesn't mean it's easy for me. You have to understand that. To be objective, I have to put my own bias to one side. Do you know how difficult it is?
Can I? I know you're going to give it all the scientificness, yeah. That's what I want to ask you.
I'm going to land.
I want to ask you, right? Regulon, right? So who? Let me just ask you direct questions. Who for you were the best players for Manchester United yesterday?
Yesterday, best players.
Yeah.
I had.
Give me your three. Top. I want to hear three. Top three.
I think I had more than three, man. I think I had Regulon.
Yep.
I rated Palestri's first UCL debut. I thought based on the debut, I thought he did quite a lot well. To be fair, more pros and cons in my opinion. Hoyland, I rated.
So Palestri, Hoyland. Okay, so Palestri, Hoyland, and Regulon. They're the three you said. So I'm gonna go off the three from my question.
No, there's more than three.
Okay, right. So what would you have rated their games out of 10?
In isolation, so for
I said just what do you
name a player.
Oh, all them three. So Regulon, Hoyland, and who was the other? And you said Palestri. So out of 10, what do you rate their performances?
So Regulon, I'm giving it 8, given it's his second game, first UCL debut against Bayern Munich, and again the pressure that's come on him where he's not got the ratings, so he's got to prove himself. So for me, 8 out of 10. For Palestri, I give him a 7, given it was a debut as a youth player coming through first time. But again, you're on the right hand wing. There's a lot of heat for him to make that his own. So strong 7 out of 10. For Rashford, I'm gonna Rashford a 7.
Bro,
would have liked to see.
And it was Hoyland.
Rashford.
Yeah. See, for me, so this is my counter argument. Bruno was far worse. Sorry, Nick, I just got to say it. Bruno was far worse than what Regulon was far better than Bruno for me on that pitch yesterday. I thought Hoyland scored. He struggled to hold up and try and get into the game, and you put him in that list. Palestri, I think it's sentiment that people are giving him 7s and 8s. At the end of the day, I'm just judging it as a Man United player. I thought he was ineffective. He didn't really get opportunities to get on the ball and do what he wanted to do.
Yeah. That was down to the team as well.
The fact that you've just said 2 minutes before that just because Bruno got an assist for a free kick, you're giving him a 7. I'm sorry. Them ratings are not adding up because the performance of the Regulon, for example.
How are they not adding up? I'll just give you context of the situation.
Bruno was absolutely poor yesterday, but because he got an assist, you're giving him a 7 and putting him up there with your basically best ratings.
What you should be doing, rather than judging, you should be asking questions rather than just assuming what
I'm not judging you. I just asked you a question. You just gave your top. Neji, hear me. Neji, now hear me. I'm coming with facts. You just gave your top 3 players. You're not letting me talk. Let me land, bro. Bro.
You're not letting me respond.
You just gave. You haven't let me finish. You did. You gave 3. Right. You gave 3 players that you listed. You gave Regulon at 8, and then you gave other 2 or 3. You gave, bro. You gave Regulon at 8, and then you gave Palestri a 7, Rashford a 7, and you're going to say Hoyland a 7. You gave Bruno a 7 2 minutes before that, but he was far worse than them. I don't get how it's adding.
So why are you missing
context? Let him break it down. I want to hear this.
But that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make sense because you just said I gave him a 7 when even Saeed corrected you and said I gave him a 6, but then I gave him
he gave me a 6 to be fair.
He got the assist, so you gave him a 7.
It
doesn't matter.
No,
you said a 6 because he got the assist. You gave him a 7.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said, Nate.
You gave him a 7. I'm trying to say, how have you given him a 7? But then your best players on the pitch a 7.
Bro, just listen, man. You're not even trying to listen, bro. You're just talking. Listen to what I'm saying.
Let him land. Let him land. You got to land.
Leon's asking me, what are the ramifications for me giving a rating? I've been very specific and said his performance was a 6. But given the fact that what I expect from him, which is to create, which is one of his primary targets, if he does that, I have to give ratings. That is isolation to Bruno and Bruno alone. Therefore, I don't mix and match my same rating system based on other players. I'll back it up even further and just say, Palestri, the context I gave you was, it was his debut away from home in a Champions League. So I have to give that.
I'm not here. I'm not hearing it.
You don't have to.
I don't judge a player because his. I don't think because it's his debut and this and that. It's just give a player a rating out of 10.
What's wrong with you? Like what's you're asking for context?
Can I say something? I think for me,
it's waffling. I think
you know what? No. You know what it is though.
Don't ask me questions again. I'm not gonna answer, man.
No. You know what it is though. I think where Tyrone's coming from. Hold on a minute. I think where Tyrone's coming from. I don't think Tyrone thinks that you should be even rating him a 6 or 7 in the region of that area. I think that's where his greater
Alright,
point
let me
is
just put-
he
let me just
should
put-
be
let me
lower
just-
than a 6 and a
Can we-
7.
can we
The comments,
just-
the
let me
comments,
just-
the comments are agreeing
I'm
here
looking
with
at
me.
three.
Oh my God, this is mad, you know. I can't
You
even
know
lie.
what, guys? Yeah, do you know what I think
I
Neji's
like
trying to
debate. I
say?
have to
Yeah,
debate with the man.
I
Straight
think
up.
no, but Ty, do you know what's
Rhino,
happening?
I'm not even trying to say anything. I'm literally telling you
No,
what
no,
I'm
but
saying, and you don't wanna hear it.
I think you're misunderstood. I think you're misunderstanding the context of how he rates the
They
players.
don't even get. Thank you.
Yeah,
The context.
that's what's happening.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to learn. And the man
the
not
way
even-
you're rating the players,
it's
he's not
funny,
rating the
bro,
players in
but
that same way. Yeah, he's not rating the players.
I've
in that
got
same
part
way.
of it, but land the rest, Neji. I've got part of it. Go on.
Go on.
So what I'm saying to you is, I'm looking at statistics and factors that go into individuals. What is relevant to the individual? What is relevant to the individual? You're asking me to rate on a generic scale. I never look at football like that. I look at individual because I like concise, I like detail, I like specifics, I like factors that go into individuals that I can only rate based on that player. For example, if Martial's come back injured, yeah, and he comes back on for his first game, if he scores a goal, cool, yeah, but I've got to look at his performance and go, what are my expectations for this player coming back from injury? That is a factor that is in isolation to that player. Doesn't affect anybody else. So there are ramifications that which I've made my decisions on, and I'm just trying to explain this to you. So it's not like it doesn't make sense. It's just, and you don't even have to agree with it. As long as you have an understanding of what I'm saying,
I get it.
of how I come to my conclusion. So again, Palestri, the performance and all, if we've been generic right now, yeah, Palestri's performance is a 5. But added the fact that it's his debut, the fact that he's been waiting a long time to get this opportunity, played away at Bayern, and had some good moments in that game. Wasn't perfect. I have to give him a 7 based on, again,
I think you're very unique in the way you grade players. I'll be honest. I think you're the only person I've met in my footballing life that rates players like that.
Because you know what it is as well, Neji.
That's how you rate it.
Yeah.
But no one else I know judges it off the.
Yeah, because you know what it is as well, Neji. No, that's cool to you. If that's how you judge it, that's how you judge it. You're entitled to your own opinion. I get that. My thing is though, I was a bit confused when you was breaking it down because you said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you didn't get all of the point out from Bruno. Yeah, do correct me if I'm wrong. You said you're rating it based on the creativity. And from what I picked up from what you were saying, you can jump in now if I was wrong on this. You're based on the role that you're based on the role that the player plays and the contribution they play within that role. That's how you're rating it, right? No, yeah, no.
If and but. So again, if I can be specific, for Bruno Fernandes, his performance was a 6 out of 10 for me. A 6 out of 10 for me, if you're going to give it a word and a label, was average. Like it was not elite. Yeah, average, and I mean average as in not really effective, but nothing amazing. Right? Happens. However, based on what he is there, what I believe he is there to do, based on where he gets his credit from, if he manages to go and get an assist or a goal, then I have to give a level of ratings because a goal is a significant, or an assist is a significant marker in a game to change games. That's the whole point.
I'm intrigued in general.
So you're not basing it on the role that
I think the main point is how did you get to the 7 or 6?
He played the 8.
I don't get how he got to 6 though.
No, but here's my thing. Here's my thing, Ty. This is where I'm confused. Yeah, he played the 8 role for a lot of that game. Yeah, so I don't get how you can rate him based on an assist. I could be getting this wrong because his position was more. If you play in the 8 role, your position is more than just creating. You need to
so you're looking
more
at
to that midfield. So I'm saying, how can you rate on a?
I understand. So you're looking at it from the position he plays.
Yeah.
You're looking at it from the position he plays. I'm looking at for the role in the team.
So this is where I'm confused because I thought that's what you were saying.
But either way, but he's not higher than a 4. Either way, this is
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting.
That's
and also look at the importance of the role.
Ty looks like he's getting hot. Ty, let me ask you a question though. Quick question: what do you rate Højlund out of 10 based on your ratings?
To be fair, 6 at best.
Yeah,
I don't think he got into the game enough. He scored. He didn't get into the game enough. I don't think.
And what do you rate Bruno out of 10?
What, yesterday?
Why?
Yeah,
I thought it was a 4 out of 10 yesterday.
So
I got 3.
But I feel like with what Højlund done when he got the ball and what he was trying to do, he definitely was involved in the game more than what Bruno was. 100%.
Okay, there you go. So that clarifies it because I was trying to join you guys both narratives because
bro, I don't mind disagreeing with the man. I think Neji was wrong, and I'm gonna
because I remember you said that he was missing, but he scored. He was missing, but he still scored one goal in it. So I thought you were gonna. But you said he was more involved. Yeah.
Leon even said it.
Yeah.
Leon even said it. I rated his defensive work in that. So I'm looking at the overall performance of the game. You're saying I don't think he was doing enough. there were aspects to the game that he did the loading. Just not the things that we desire or we think are
I
desirable.
feel like
So therefore we
Neji,
don't
you know
look
what?
at
I'm looking at you. And
So
I feel
wait,
like you're trying to. I feel like you got a little smile there. I feel like you don't even believe that Bruno the six yourself. I feel like you got a little smile there. Hiding.
I've never
Oh,
in
I
my
just
life
feel like
I've
I've got
ever
you.
catch-
I feel like I've got you.
I'm
You
gonna
know, I
get-
feel like I've
Bro,
got
you know
you
me,
won't let it
bro.
go.
You know
I feel
me.
like I got you.
Nah,
I got
Ty,
you.
you
I
know
know.
me, bro.
Lazy, just say Ty.
Saeed's
Wait,
ready
wait,
to jump
wait,
in on
Ty,
this.
Ty,
Saeed,
Ty,
what would
wait,
you
wait.
rate
But I
Bruno?
think it comes
I
down
lie
to
now. You
the
tell me if I'm
preferences.
lying, Ty. Yeah. You tell me
Lazy
if
knows
any
I
man.
got him. He's smiling. I know the mixed
Wait,
race
any
smile.
man on here,
Smile,
tell
you
me if
know.
I'm lying. Any man.
I mean,
I've stood with my chest out on some ridiculous things. I stood about Mano. I said about the Onana situation, the goalkeeping situation. I stand with my chest when I make my points, bro, and I don't care who says what.
Yeah, but
You
Lazy,
know
you
for
know,
fact.
I hear it. But I think
At no
sometimes,
point have I ever capped when I say
I think
something, bro.
sometimes
Ever.
though, let
Pinned you
your. I'm not saying. I think sometimes you let what you think of a player get in your head too much, and you won't let it go. Like sometimes it's okay to objectively look at something. And think Bruno was poor on this day.
Okay, so all
and
right,
he
Saeed,
Saeed.
what was Saeed?
No,
Saeed,
okay, Saeed. No,
Saeed,
no.
you run the show. Saeed, what was Bruno for
Let me
you?
reply
Saeed,
to
what was
Saeed.
Bruno
Yeah,
for
what
you?
was Bruno for you,
Question,
Saeed?
3 out of 10.
question, Saeed.
Yeah.
3 out
Three
of
out
10.
of 10. There we go.
I hear
Okay,
that.
Rhino, what
Question,
was Bruno
Saeed.
for you? And
Ty,
Rhino,
let
what
me
was
ask
Bruno
you
One
a
for
time
you?
when
Saeed a
this gets
question.
super chats. Go on,
Let
go
me
on.
ask quick question. Okay, so what
Fine.
part of my judgment is not objective for you to make that statement?
Because because I
I've
look at
watched
it and
the
I
player.
think,
I'm
you know
using
No, I'm
my
what?
own
asking.
eyes.
Yo, Ty,
I
I'm
don't need
asking
to come
Saeed.
with
Come
all
on,
the
man.
English
Respect.
scientific words. I watched the game. I watched the player. He weren't
Ty,
effective
I'm
in the
asking
game.
Saeed, bro. Have
That's
some
an
respect,
English
man. Come on, bro.
scientific
What's
word.
this?
You know why as well?
Bro, take
Because
off
you know
that
what
hat,
it is as
fam.
well.
That hat's turning into your
Nah,
yo, bro.
Lazy.
I'm not
I've
even
got
joking.
you. Lazy,
Nah,
I've got
but
you
you
in the
have to listen to
headlock.
me, you know,
Lazy, I've
dog.
got you in the Rastaman
Saeed
headlock.
can't
And you
chat
can't
with me
get out.
dip online.
Lazy,
That's
I've
you,
got you
fam.
in the
Bro, I'm asking
Rastaman
Saeed a
headlock.
question.
And you can't get
Bro,
out.
stop.
You can't get out. I've got you in the Rastaman headlock and you can't
Saeed,
get out.
Saeed, answer the question,
Nah,
please.
You know
that's
what
an
as well?
English
Because I think
scientific
the
word.
way you started off
What?
was a bit shaky. The way you started up was when you talked about the assist, yeah. That for me was like that was almost like bad signals. I was like, hold on a minute, is he basing off his score around the fact that he got a quick assist in there? That's why when you went with a 6-7, I was like, hold on a minute. So what would you give him without the assist? Because the assist really didn't mean anything.
Okay, so
He
to
put it
answer,
into the box.
again, you've just
Yeah,
asked
go
me
on.
a question that I answered straight away. I was very concise instead of giving him a 6 and then give my reason. I then said I would give him a 7 based on the fact that he got an assist because that's within his role. None of that was cap. Maybe
So
Anyway, listen, I'm gonna
About
get
the
the
assist, I'm
Get
giving
the
him a
super
4.
chat. Get
man.
the super
I
chat.
swear down.
Let me get the super
You're
chats
not
then.
getting out.
Big up HKN. Big up HKN
man like
music.
Ty, you know.
But guys, make sure you're liking the video, people, as well. 1.2K still in here.
Yeah, come on,
Make
man.
sure you make up HK Moose says the manager will die on this Bruno Rashford Hill. It will be his downfall. They are not good enough for us to be playing through them. How many years will it take for people to see this? You know what? That's another thing as well. Like, you know, the manager, like, I get it. These are two important players that the fan base likes as well. But will he change it for the betterment of the team? Like, I think sometimes, you know, it's a situation where we could be more balanced. I'm just giving you an example, Casemiro, whoever. If we're more balanced without them two, would the manager be bold enough and brave enough to take out one of the players out there? Right now, as it stands right now, the manager is playing it a bit safe. And I think if he does have a different plan and he takes out one of the two or one of the other or whoever it is, and again, it's not specific to Rashford or Bruno, but I'm just saying in the team, will we play a different style of play and could we be better for it? And that sometimes, as a manager, you've got to be brave. So I don't know whether the manager has that mindset right now where it goes to Burnley and says, you know what? That situation we did last week, yeah, we're not doing it now. Against Brighton, I didn't like that. We're not doing it this game. We'll have a different formation, different style, and I'm going to go with this. I don't know if the manager's doing that because he feels like he's under pressure and he doesn't want to experiment that. That's just the way I kind of look at it.
You did that
Bruno
against Brighton,
gave the
but
ball away leading to the
no one wanted
fourth
it, man.
goal. Yeah, that's true as well. Bruno gave the ball away, leading to the fourth goal, bro. 5 out of 10. HK says 7 out of 10 for Bruno. What are you saying for the fourth goal? Fourth goal, he watched Kimmich chip the ball for the fourth goal. His passing during the game and ball retention was not good. 5 out of 10 max. And Birdie J says 7 out of 10. That's not being objective. Bruno always plays shit, but gets a goal and assist, and a man overreacts as usual. Man deserved Bruno as captain. And then there he goes, not happy. If Bruno is a 6 or 7, Musiala got to be 20 out of 10. Bro, Musiala, I'll be real with you. Musiala is everything
Cold, man.
that performance Bruno Fernandes should be doing when you deep it. 21-year-old. I watched Musiala, and it was a joy to watch in the football pitch.
Yeah.
Dictate the game, get from one end of the pitch and drag his team to the other pitch. I see Bruno Fernandes giving the ball away when we never needed to. And I think that for me, yeah. And this is why, for me, I rate Odegaard more highly than Bruno Fernandes. I've always said that. I'd rather have Odegaard in my team than Bruno Fernandes. As simple as that. And I've kept that consistently. Because you know what it is here? Odegaard might not get you the GA, and he might not get you the goals and assists that Bruno Fernandes gets you.
He's tidy,
but
man.
What, though,
he's tidy.
But it's not only is he tidy, but he makes the team better. And I think sometimes Bruno Fernandes, yeah, what he does, and I was at this game yesterday, and the amount of fans were like, Bruno Fernandes, they were going mad at him. And these are the match-going fans that you might not see on Twitter and say whatever they got to say. But sometimes, yeah, you don't always have to play the hero ball. You don't always have to look for the assist. Keep it simple, and then the team play better as a result. And that's not only just him. It's for Rashford. It's for everyone that's in the team. Keep the game simple. That's what Musiala does. And I think sometimes that side of a game, we don't really look into it too much. And maybe we've got caught in the, you know what, goals and assists, like, and that's what everyone's looking for nowadays in football. But also simplify a game that, you know what, you make others better. And I think that's what Højlund's going to do. Like, Højlund might not score 1,000 goals for United, but you know what, he might actually hold up the ball, bring others into play, become like a linchpin for us to kind of go forward as well. Like, bring others into play. Rashford might get more goals out of it. You know, whoever's on the right hand side might get goals because Højlund's, you know, he's holding up the play and he's allowing others to get into the game more. I want that to happen. Not Bruno Fernandes again, another mid-game where he's running around, not doing anything. And when he gets the ball, he's so hesitant. Just relax. Have a bit of patience. And you know what? People won't actually be mad at you for not losing the ball and say, you know what? Fair play. He's actually keeping hold of the ball and he's actually making things tick. Whereas if you're doing that hero ball, that's where I look at Bruno Fernandes. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. I just,
you know what, though?
I just don't.
I think that's the funny bit for me, though, right? Because this is, and again, it's always going to fall on deaf ears when I say shit like this, just because, again, people are so heavily far left, far right in the situation. I'm just looking at the situation, using those logics and go, you know, people were pissed when I said about KDB giving the ball away the most times in the league more than Bruno, but people all thought it was Bruno. But there was no heat or there was no level of expectation of what you're saying onto KDB. And I'm not saying there should be. I'm saying there's an acceptance of it. And I'm saying, well, the question is, well, why is there an acceptance for some players to do it, but not him? And then I sit there, and again, it's an objective question. It's got nothing to do with whether I rate him or not. Because again, I prefer Donny van der Beek over Bruno. That's my preference. You all know that. So not even from my own personals. But I have to sit there and go, what goes into that happening? And I look at KDB and I observe it objectively and go, nothing to do with his talent. It's absolutely everything to do with the system that is around everything else. So he's allowed to make mistakes without being punished because he either gets one covered up or two, he again goes and wins a game. And this comes back to that rating when I talked to you earlier. If KDB gets an assist or a goal in a game that he's made bare mistakes, bear in mind statistically and factually, he gave the ball away the most that season, but still had a high record of assists and everything else, then surely the focus of happiness should be, is he effective enough to get us the result? Because like I said at the start of the show, winning games, then all of a sudden makes mistakes kind of just disappear. No one focuses on it. And that's what I'm doing.
I get what you mean. In the short term, yeah. In the short term.
They control a lot of the game. He's allowed to take the risk because he knows that Haaland or whoever is Aguero is potentially going to get on the end
Rodri's
of it.
Behind
The bottom line is, like Saeed said earlier, he could have a manager that plays all pretty football and everything like that, but it's about, like Ollie, he said Ollie had the good moments, the away record, the vibes of the Marshall, Greenwood and Rashford together, but it didn't evidently lead to a trophy. KDB has been part of a team that's won 5 out of 6 Premier Leagues and they've won the treble this year. He can do that because actually it's proven that it's what he does, and what he does for that Man City team is proven to be a success. So whether he gives the ball away or not, it's actually evident that he's impacted games in a much more positive way. They've had a lot of success with him in the team, and he's entitled. If Bruno's winning leagues and we're playing the type of football that Man City are, I don't think the Bruno thing is going to be highlighted as much. But at the end of the day, KDB, that is him as a player. It's effective for Man City in the way they play their managers, and they've been successful in winning trophies.
So would it be fair to say then, and I agree with exactly what you've done, because I come to the same conclusions. Would you be fair to say then, based on success is not just based on a player's attributes and abilities. It's based on a lot more than just a player doing X, Y, Z. It's based on more than a player just being able to retain a ball.
I feel like, okay, so if I'm taking the quality, just throwing a quality quickly out there. So, for example, KDB, you look at what Musiala was doing for us 2 hours yesterday in terms of picking up the ball from deep, ball carrying it, taking the team further up the pitch, transitioning. For me, Bruno Fernandes can't dribble. He can't ball carry. He's
but basically... You're not answering the question, bro.
Wait. No, I'm just saying to you, in terms of a player, he gets on the end of things or he gets that final pass in occasionally. But in terms of an overall player, I don't think Bruno has a lot in his locker, whereas KDB has variety to his game. Even
No,
a
So
lot
that
of
means-
agree. Listen, I
So if
agree with that.
KDB came to United,
Wait,
it would be
Ryan,
much
Ryan,
better.
I'm getting somewhere.
I don't.
So what I'm saying to you is, can you still answer the question?
I don't think as well because of the system and the way we play anyway as a
Sorry,
football team.
Yeah, what's the question, bro?
For me. Answer the question for me. So, if I'm in agreement with you, based on we're saying that the level of success, because again he's been part of that, it's not just been down to KDB. Are we fair to say then that comparing that to Bruno's situation, it can't just be on Bruno to be successful? Therefore, we can't just again, how can I say it? Be
just
flippant
bash Bruno.
I'll even be more accurate. We can't change the standards of what we're saying it equates to a quality player if we understand and know that it's more so a team thing to win, a team and a club thing to win trophies, as opposed to just the individual. Because if we're saying it's okay for us to, and again, I understand the criticism. It's okay to criticize Bruno the way we're doing it, and I agree with it, by the way, personally, and objectively it makes sense. But then we can't do that for another player. And I've just questioned why the player doesn't get it. And you're telling me it's based on winning stuff.
Which player? Which player?
How is it that even though winning stuff is attributed to the system and attributed to the player, and obviously the whole system and setup and the club, why is that always on Bruno then? Why is it different for Bruno? That's the only question I've got.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm confused. You know, I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I am confused.
Yeah, bro.
You know what it is, Leji? You know what it is with me?
Yeah, go
I
on.
think Bruno fans rate Bruno Fernandes as world class. I think
I'm gonna call Nate
No,
Mr.
forget fans. It's not about fans.
But we have to, because at the end of the day, that's what we're
not
kind of
because-
having
okay.
our beliefs on.
It
If
doesn't
we're
have
saying
to,
he's
though.
that
Okay.
level, he's world class,
All right, so
but then
let
he
me
can't
tell you
get
what
the
it doesn't have
ball
to be.
and he's getting shown up by certain players. That's where for me, I'm like, bro, like I need to see what you're doing then, and I'm not
All right,
seeing it
so- all right,
consistently.
say no more,
especially
say no
the
more.
biggest
So-
game possible.
Neji, I'm a bit worried
All right.
because you started off bright, but the room's getting darker.
So
Yeah, the room's getting darker, man.
Man, not paid the bill, no. Man didn't even pay the bill.
What you're saying,
Guys,
to me, yeah. What you're saying to me, bro. Literally, what you've just.
Last point on Bruno, because I want to move on from Bruno as well, because we need to talk about other midfielders as well.
What you're saying to man, and this is what I've just picked up, is you're saying it has to be based on fans. And again, if it has to be based on fans, that means it has to be based on bias. There is an opportunity to not make football conversations based on bias. And that's the bit you man are missing. Because most people you probably have conversation with speak from biais, you're probably in that same mindset. I'm not there, bro.
I give Bruno Fernandes his credit.
But
and also, I give Bruno Fernandes his credit when he does well. But when I say, rise up in the big games, people, I'm not saying just like you, but everyone's like, well, what about him? No, why can't we focus on Bruno Fernandes? And he's the world-class player. He's meant to be our main guy, meant to be our best player in terms of our attacking option, in terms of he's going to be the creator. And I see Musiala outshow him. He outperformed him. 21-year-old.
Okay, so if you just, again, I'm using your words. You just used the word creator, so you know about his main attributes. But Musiala wasn't about creative yesterday. It was about stylistically on the ball, transferring the way that he done the ball and his touch and everything else. It's got nothing to do with creativity.
I mean, he was also creating them and breaking the lines as well. Did you not see him the way he was spraying the ball?
Of course I saw it. But what you've just said,
come on, man, that's creating.
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, but you're okay. So here's the thing, and we'll finish
as well.
We need to move on from
when you
Bruno.
think about it, it's creative as well.
Here's the thing. You lot have an idea in your head of what you want to see out of a player. I look at the player for what he is. So therefore, and we did it with Pogba, we had expectations of a player doing certain things. Never in my life, since I've seen Bruno since Sporting, have I seen him do the things that you want him to do. So therefore, hold on.
Okay, let me say. Well, okay, hold on.
Hold on. So
what's expectation then? Is it keeping the ball? Is it expectation keeping the ball?
Oh my God!
Hold on a minute. I'm asking a fair question. What is the expectation? Is that keeping the ball then?
Point, bro. What I'm trying to say, let me land the point.
I'm asking you a question though. Is that not expectation though? You're talking about expectation. Keeping the ball is that not expectation?
I'm gonna land the point because
I can't answer the question before you go on.
I can't answer the question without landing.
The room getting darker, man. Turn the light on, bro. Turn the light on.
Safe. I'm turning dark, you know.
You've been under pressure this show, boy.
You know what? Can I just say something? I really want to.
Last point, because I want to move on. I don't want to move on. I want to talk about Onana.
I just want to say something, yeah. Neji, I understand you've got your opinion on this Bruno thing. I understand that.
It's been a long day. Haven't slept.
I think we all judge it on what we see. I don't think it's what people tell us. I think we're very independent to know what we see. And
I'm not saying you don't.
I think no. I know. I think that the issue that a lot of people I think have with Bruno, and guys, jump in if I got this wrong, is the development of the attitude and the growth of the player. He's still doing the things that he thinks are right rather than what benefits the team, or like loft balling it up every time and not playing
100%.
KDB, KDB, has more to his game, in my opinion. He can play a ball round and through the lines. Bruno, I just feel like, and you know what's interesting, Si? This might be a segue, yeah? Is this what the manager's telling him to do? Is the manager saying, as soon as you get the ball in the space, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Boom, get rid of it. Boom. Because like it's hurting us, man.
Leon,
he might get an assist, bro, but he's giving away goals. He's putting pressure on us.
Leon, I'm not even saying he doesn't give away a goal. And yesterday, I even highlighted yesterday that Bruno's fought for the 4th goal. I said it straight away because that's fact. So it's not a defense thing. What I'm saying to you is, I have an acceptance for what the player is.
Yeah, but is that an excuse for him not to grow as a player into something better?
No. Bro,
because if I just say to him, I accept
last
what
point,
he is.
last point,
can
man.
I finish? Let me land, bro.
Yeah, last point. Last point,
to is just because you accept it does not mean you agree. Acceptance does not mean agree. We've said it many times. Ty said the same thing, even when we have an understanding. Just because we understand does not mean I agree. But I come to an acceptance not because of him, but for me. Because I stopped holding him to certain standards to say, okay, well, if you're shit at ball retention, if you're shit at ball carrying, right, I need to see a pro in order to make those little things be overlooked. So if you're going to be great in other aspects of an area, right, I have to go, okay, well, do the pros outweigh the cons? And as an entirety, whether defensively, whether in midfield, whether it be passing, whether it be creative chances in Europe being one of the best, those pros outweigh the cons for me. And the reason I say that's fair is because, again, like I said, Kevin De Bruyne has pros and has cons, but there's more pros than cons to a player. Therefore, I don't look at him and go, because you don't retain the ball, I now have to not call you world class, because I've seen it with other players that aren't world class, and I've seen it with players that are world class. I keep it consistent, so I'm not expecting certain things from a player. The same way I didn't expect Paul Pogba to be a colossal number 6 when he was playing, but everyone was saying, yeah, he has to be your tour, he has to do this. I accept the player for what he is. I don't think he's amazing at everything, so I'm not in that band. But what I'm doing is having an appreciation for what he is and what he can bring.
Do you know what, Deneji, and Said, I'm going to let you move on.
Tyro, last point, please. Last point.
I feel like we all know what Bruno is. We all know what Bruno was at Sporting. We accept what he's good at and we like what he's good at. However, that's also not consistent enough, and the flaws show more in games than the positives do. Bruno, for me, struggles with the basics of keeping the ball, retaining it, even getting us up the pitch. I think when we go under pressure, he dives under and he loses the ball very easily. And when I look at the teams around us right now, I look at Kevin De Bruyne, and the best years of Man City, they've always been primed to say, right, where are we going to play De Bruyne? Let's get the best out of De Bruyne, and they've been able to do that with the players around them. You look at Arsenal right now, Martin Odegaard is the key in their midfield. They can change Declan Rice, Partey, and mix who's behind him, but Odegaard stays in that number 10, and he's the controlling guy. He sets the tempo, and like Saeed said, he's the main guy for that midfield. You then look at James Maddison. I'm just going to flip it right now to Tottenham. Angie's been there, 6 weeks, and already everyone is talking about how James Maddison is the glue to that team. He's that guy with obviously Basuma behind him, but he's pulling the strings and everything. You look at Bruno Fernandes, and he's never going to be that type of player for Man United where he's going to control games or pull the strings or dictate the tempo. He's the type of player that you sign when you've probably got your whole squad sorted and you want the icing on the cake. You don't build around Bruno Fernandes. Unfortunately, he's never going to be the player that some fans want him to be, and I don't see Man United being overly successful with him in the team.
Yeah.
So, and that's the way. Bruno's here to stay. He's the captain, but the truth is, Neji,
Leo, we're going to move on because I want to talk about
I was just going to end by saying, maybe this is why giving him the captaincy could have been
a bad thing.
There
we go.
Wrap that bit. Nedu says, "Yo, big up Nedu, man. Big up team, man. Big up the panel. Love
Nedu,
you all.
I'm sorry I've had to do this to you, man. I know you're the heavyweight, but I've made you feel featherweight today. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'll be honest.
I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
That's ego
He
talking,
dunked on him.
bro.
He dunked on him there. He dunked on him.
Take the hat off, see what one in it.
Yeah, but it's never too late to join me in the Ten Hag out movement. Oh, that's mad. In my opinion, Bruno and Rashford need to be dropped. To be honest, listen, we're gonna find out if he does that, man. Ten Hag this weekend. HK Moose says, "I've never heard a midfielder being world class that's horrible. That has horrible ball retention." Guys, keep liking the video. I wanted to discuss Onana. I'm gonna start with you, Rhino. Yeah, like I don't think for me it's a time to be panic. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I think for me, what's worrying is that obviously we're now seeing Onana for me, I'm not seeing what we bought him for in terms of playing out from the back. What we wanted him for, we're actually seeing a keeper that again is similar to what David De Gea had, having more shots against him, more pressure up against him, and I think he's starting to feel that. You know, when you start having a barrage of shots against you, it's difficult to kind of deflect them all in it. And I think right now. I can't lie to you, man. That goal, I was like, wow, man. And you know what? Yeah, there was a few people in the stand there. They were like, yo, Henderson's better and this and that. And I was like, that was a bit wild, innit? Because I thought, for me, you have to be patient. I did say that on a MANDEM chat at the start, yeah. I said, you have to be patient with Onana. But where do you think Ten Hag needs to do better? Is it midfield has to be better in terms of holding the pressure up? Is it just too much onslaught? Is it the fact that he isn't a better shot stopper than David De Gea? And we have to accept that. Like, you know what? David De Gea might have been a better keeper, but what we need as a overall keeper, Onana is better for the team. He's better for Man United. And hence we have to get rid of David De Gea anyway. But what's your thoughts on Onana?
Yeah. My thoughts here, based on the Bayern game, I feel like, on a part of the game shift and everything's on him, man. That was a howler, man, guys. That was a howler. And I rate Onana, and I believe he will come good. Pause. But I just feel like it's on him. It's on him. We could have squeezed a draw. If he saves that shot, maybe we carry on a bit of better form on top of that, and we get a draw. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. But what you're saying with what Ten Hag's brought him in for and what we're not seeing, it goes back to what Neji and Musa were saying as well, a couple of MANDEM shows ago.
You, man.
But at the same time, what Ten Hag needs to do is people keep comparing De Gea and Onana's first season, or they compare the certain season where I think De Gea saved more of the shots on target than Onana has. But we also have to see the fact that Onana is receiving more shots than De Gea received. So let's say Onana received or De Gea received 15 shots and 10 was on target, and he saved more of those on target shots. Onana's received, I think, double, probably like 30 shots or 40 or whatever. So that's a lot of pressure on Onana. And it's his first season in the Premier League as well. He needs time to adjust. So his adjustment period has come at a bad time for him. So I'm happy he did take ownership for the fact that it's on him. And that shows character and mentality. And that shows that maybe as we're going along, he's going to improve and get better. So the system is not complimenting him at the moment, which I think is the main problem. And he's going through an adjustment period. So I feel like that's what the problem is. He's adjusting to the team's adjusting to him. But I think he has shown us benefits. We're playing 5 or 10 yards slightly higher up at the pitch. We get to push a bit more, which helps us to suppress teams and helps in terms of trying to win the ball up high and all of that stuff as well. So there's certain attributes to it, but I think because it's an adjustment process, it's a bit complicated. It's a bit, it's a bit iffy.
You know what's mad though?
But I got faith.
I don't know if you see my match reaction. Yeah, the brother that came in at the end, the American guy, he goes, "Yo, bring back De Gea, man." And I was like, "What? Like seriously? Like, yo, like, come on, man. Like, let's not be reactionary." But I feel like for me, Leon, I'll come to you first. Like, it's that one position where you can't get wrong. And you know what? It's the hardest position to take on, man. Only Edwin van der Sar, you would say, David De Gea, you would say, Schmeichel have done well and that's what 3 keepers in the past 30 years.
I think it averages about 7 to 8 years before we get a keeper that actually held it down.
Wow. So you have to struggle for a bit. I remember Tim Howard. You might know Tim Howard and Roy Carroll and Barthez and man. Kushak. We had Lindegaard. Was it Lindegaard? Ben Foster. You know, we had, so we had like bad ones, man. You know what I mean? We had cult heroes like Romero. We had cult heroes like maybe, who was a cult hero? Like you would say that did well-ish.
Lee Grant.
We had
Van der Sar. I think Van der Sar was good.
Van der Sar for me is a legend. He's a legend for me. But yeah,
you know what my issue is, Saeed? Do you know what?
Go on.
Actually, no, Leon. Nah, sorry, I don't want to cut you. Do your thing, Leon. I'll come in.
No, go first, bro. Come
on. Oh no, I was gonna say. I think that right. So Onana, I think the saving issue. I feel like we always had a bit of questions about it. I knew that he wasn't like the best shot stopper in the world. However, I'm still much more happy having Onana in than we have De Gea. Of course, all keepers are going to make mistakes at times. Yesterday's, unfortunately, punish us. We could have been 3-0 up, and it happens at 3-1. You kind of dust yourself and moves on. But the problem for me with Onana is that I think that he's a great signing. However, I think for the defense, it's actually been a negative. So basically, how I'm gonna word it is, because he's so comfortable on the ball, right? It's now become a negative for players like Lindelof and Martinez, Shaw when he's back, Reguilon, who will Dallo or Wan-Bissaka. Because when we had the Gea in goal last year, I would say our transition from getting the ball from the defense to the forward line was probably quicker. It might not have been effective, but we didn't score loads of goals, but I feel like we got the ball to the forward line a bit quicker and our chances created was high and stuff like that. However, now we've got Onana, who's a ball-playing goalkeeper. I just basically feel like every time our defense has the ball, if they can't pass forward, they're not really looking to pass forward, should I say? It's just like, let's give it back to Onana.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's become like
They're
the
relying
new
on him,
it's like it's become the new norm to be comfortable and just say, do you know what? Oh, I can't really pass to Casemiro through the lines. Oh, let's just give it to Onana because we know that he's good on the ball. And all of a sudden, it just becomes a cycle of Onana to the defense. Oh, let's go back to Onana. And it's become an annoying thing now that I actually really like Onana for his traits on the ball. But it's like we're overusing it and overdoing it now. And then now the defense aren't confident enough for them to pass through the lines. So in a weird way, I love that Onana's here and I love what he can do with the ball at his feet. But for the defense, it's kind of flipped their mentality. And now they're not being brave. And now they're just saying, yeah, let's give it back to Onana. And it's becoming a frustrating cycle. Watch it from now, Mandem.
Yeah, no, it is. Because I seen Rashford yesterday stop the ball like Anthony on that side about 3-4 times and go back. I've seen quite a few man doing it.
Go back for the sake of it.
I've seen us like coming towards the top of the box. We've got more numbers than the opposition. So we're going to get like 4-on-3s and 5-on-4s, and then we're going back. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? Trying to win the game.
Really
but what was your question? Do you think what was it about?
No, I did like, people underestimated the position of Onana, and you know what, like, what can he do better? Is it a case of him just understanding his role a little bit more? And like, I don't know, like, I suppose, like, have we underestimated the job in hand of a keeper at Man United, how big it is?
I think that we're going to see this season. It's too early again. I know I always say this, but it is too early to see. We need to give him more games to see like how the season's going to play out. If he has howlers all season, then it's going to look not great. But a part of me is feeling like what Neji and what Musa said about prioritizing that position earlier. I'm looking at the midfield now and I'm like, could that £40 million have been spent on strengthening that area or another striker? Do you know what I mean? He's not a bad signing. He's not bad at what he does. He's not De Gea. He's not world class he's world class, but he's not as world class in the saving department and shot stopping and that side. But we all know that teams win championships without a keeper that's not the best in the world at that. Do you know what I mean? So I think his all-round game is good. I think people need to get off his back because when you're letting people, it goes back to the midfield thing. When you're letting people walk through your midfield and overload you at the top of the box, your keeper's going to look crap. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're doing pass.
Do you know what it is, Leon, though?
You pass it back.
I think where the frustration comes from, sorry to cut you off, is that even though we have a lot of weaknesses and he's getting more shots, he's letting in silly shots. That's where the frustration is. And I want to make it clear. I understand that just because he's receiving a lot more shots, he should still be able to save the easy shots. But I think it just adds to the pressure of him adjusting and everything, and it exposes his flow, and it hits his confidence a bit. So lack of confidence will make you fluff. So yeah.
Also, if you watch his Inter, he had a plan when the two centre backs would split. Also, players would want to receive the ball.
The wing backs just went.
Yeah, the wing backs would go, and the guy would be popping it off, and I'm like, we're looking at our one, and yes, they're good at what they do sometimes. They come full of the ball. But the next phase of play, we don't know what we're doing. What midfielder do we do? So every single time when we look like we're going to play off on the back, it gets knocked back and then we're already 6s and 7s at the back. So I just feel like for me, it's like,
throw Amrabat in there, someone that can just get the ball from deep from him.
Here's the thing, Ty, as well, the lack of movement in our team as well as the lack of pressure defensively and the lack of movement going forward is alarming right now in our team. I'm watching us at the top of the box and I'm watching us middle of the park. There's no movement.
Facts.
And when every time that I've played ball and seen people play ball or whatever, do you know what I mean? I've even spoken to Aaron about this side as well. Movement is key. Just a couple of steps off your man and just to draw him out and make space for somebody else. There's like zero. So I do feel for people like Casemiro having to play through the lines and Onana not getting the space that he wants because we're not. I don't know. Do you, man, put it down to Ten Hag? Like, what do you put it down to? We just look like we're stood still.
It's Ten Hag, though. Everything right now, apart from individual mistakes, which, again, that's not on Ten Hag, the Onana one. But a lot of it has to come down Ten Hag to our shape. I'm sorry, but it doesn't mean that I'm saying that Ten Hag should go or whatnot. And I'm just criticizing what are we doing in training? Why is our shape so bad? Why is it people are just not? And again, I'm not putting Ericsson in there. He's putting Ericsson in there. He knows he don't have the legs. So why are you putting Ericsson in there then? Or why are you playing him twice a week? You don't play Ericsson twice a week. That shouldn't happen now. But again,
who would you play instead, Saeed?
You said Hannibal earlier.
Hannibal, yeah,
I'd play Hannibal
earlier.
right now, I'll be real. I would.
Or take him off earlier. Because I thought Ericsson should have came off earlier. You know, in that regards. So this is the issue. I get it. There's no options. I understand that. Right now, there's no Mount, there's no whatever. But I still think Ten Hag has a stubbornness that, you know what, he'll still keep doing the same stuff. And I'm like, that will cost you your job every game.
I think this is the thing for me, boys. Yeah, like football's a tricky thing. Because if you're a risky...
Yeah, I think you're going to say what I'm thinking, AJ. I think you're going to say, yeah.
Go on, land, bro. Land.
I feel like, because Ten Hag said this in the interview as well, if we take off Ericsson and put Hannibal and he has a howler, then what? Then how do we react to it? Are we still going to rate the fact that Ten Hag tried something? Are we still going to be upset that he took him off? That's how I feel like it's very difficult.
I think this is the thing, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's just the nature of the sport. So you're not right or wrong for either one of those responses, Rhino. It's a genuine case of football is a risky business. If you're set in your ways, you'd rather be hated for trying your thing than be hated for not doing your thing. And you're gonna have haters no matter what. And I'm not going to say hate because that's a strong word. You're gonna have people, you're gonna have disbelievers or questioners or whatever you want to label it as, no matter what you do. If he's stubborn, right? Which is by all means, every decent manager anyway is stubborn. Every decent manager is stubborn. Meant to be. Why? Because they have a philosophy and an idea they want to stick to. Doesn't necessarily mean they don't switch up every now and then. Of course, we're going to expect that it's necessary. Again, I'm not trying to be extreme here, but 60, 70, 80% of the games, yes, 100%, you've got to be stubborn. But if it works, no one's saying nothing, and rightly so. If it doesn't, then you open yourself up. So he's doomed if he does, and he's doomed if he doesn't. And he's praised if he does, and he's praised if he doesn't. I think that's just where we're having.
Nedu says here, one reason wanted Ten Hag was because I thought he would use Bruno less and focus more on ball retention. Fast forward a year and Bruno is the captain. SMH. So, Saint Marlo says got to think about the qualities of shots Onana is facing as well. Those are really good chances. Yesterday he had to do much better though. Yeah, I thought he recovered well. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's not about how your recovery is. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's what happened, isn't it? Like that. And you know what? The second goal, I think he could have done better with his feet, man. I think David Gea. I don't say he saves it, but he does a bit better with his.
Is that the one that went side netting? Or was that the third goal?
Yeah, the second goal.
I'm not gonna lie though, the side netting one and the one that roofed it, I think it's a bit harsh judging him on them two. I'll be real.
No. I'm talking about the Galabri. Was it which second goal? Who's the second goal?
The cutback one. Was it the cutback?
Yeah, the cutback one. Yeah. Okay. Do you not think he should have done better with his legs?
Was that one side netting? One of them was side netting and one of them wasn't. I can't remember which one.
Straight. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he could have.
2-0. 2-0. I'm on about 2-0.
Yeah, I don't think he.
2-0. I'm on about.
Yeah. No, I think he could do better, but I don't think it would be enough to save the ball because the way the ball was hit,
it was placed.
I know.
So
it was left foot on it as well. So his left foot was curling away right.
I do understand though, Saeed. Yeah, like even you looking at that, there are deficiencies in the way that he attempts to save. He's very flat-footed. He's a heavy-footed keeper. That's the difference. So,
yes.
Because he's a heavy-footed keeper, getting his position in it is mad. Whereas De Gea was a lot more, how can I say, nimble on his feet. So he had quicker reactions. That was what made him elite. You know, even before he was incredible. Well, I wouldn't say incredible. Was given respect for the saves he was doing. One of the first things he was doing at United was saving with his feet. Even I remember Sky Sports talking. He does a lot of saving with his feet, but sometimes I think he could just go with his hands. So again, it's not slander just because someone has better attributes than you. And I looked at the same with De Gea. It's not a slander on De Gea just because Onana can kick better. But it's the thing with Onana is, and again, I hate to be repeated, but I'll say it in a different way because it's not so much the keeper's an issue. And I look at De Gea and Onana on that. It's a simple case of it wasn't the right time to change it. It's such a drastic change. And what Ty was saying, again, was similar to what me and Musa were saying in terms of, yes, you can probably create more with him, like being in that team, even a fully functioning team of fully fit players. But the question always will remain, just because you can create more doesn't mean you're going to finish your dinner. Because here's the thing. Last season with De Gea in goal, it got overlooked because, again, people just put their eggs in all the basket and said, yeah, I'm done with this keeping every mistake. I'm just going to blow it up, but everything he does right, I'm not gonna accept it. And that's fine. That's cool. People have their limits. I didn't have that limit personally. I just looked at it and said, I can see the mess that you're making. Ridiculous. Needs to change. But at the same time, I can see that within them games, you'll give it, I think it was Rhino who actually dropped this bar. And you said, bro, about the amount of times De Gea kept the strikers and the forwards in a game to go and finish a game, as opposed to the strikers doing their job
them out.
for De Gea. Again, and that's one of the most fairest and accurate comments I saw. You don't get them clean sheets and again, not be of use within that team. It was not just a defensive display. There were many moments in games where he allowed us to stay within games. And I said, I don't mind De Gea being swapped. You might know by now. Obviously, what did my man change? But it wasn't just a case of bringing in a player that can kick and keep possession. I needed to see that the saving abilities are also replaced. You'll see that on the stream as well. And I think that's a fair assessment. And this is why, for me, I was looking at Costa, thinking, my man's great at saying, not as good as De Gea.
All round, he's good,
But you have everything. Otherwise, you're going to regress. And if you regress,
also you want what's best for the manager to implement what he wants as well. As much as we want what we want.
I'm not saying that's not important. But what I'm saying to you, Saeed, is it comes with cons. Yeah, people focus on the pros so much they don't look at the cons, and vice versa. And this is why that's why me and Musa both brought up and said the cons of getting the keeper now means that we will create more, but we will concede more. And I'm seeing it happen. Why? Because in order for Onana in order for Mason Mount and Onana to work, the team has to be firing on all cylinders. Because if Mason Mount is a facilitator, he's a facilitator for the system. If he hasn't got the profiles around him, you ain't going to see anything world class out of him. You ain't going to see anything elite. You may get the odd goal here and there, what most people will glorify. Right. But the boring side of football is where he's at, right? And people don't want to involve in that. And that's fine. Onana specifically has to be in a team that is able to be adequate enough, in my opinion, to be able to maintain what he's great at and make him look great. We don't have that in the team right now. So we're looking like we've got holes in the team.
And last question before I want to wrap up this Mandem talk. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Let's get to 800 likes, people. There's still 1.2k in here. HK is a decision that have me looking at Ten Hag funny, making Bruno captain, buying Mount, refusing to bench underperforming players, Bruno, Rashford, and Anthony. Well, Anthony, we'll have to find out when he comes back. And if he comes back, and you know what? That's another thing. Yeah, stubbornness is a big thing. Right. How do we fix this? This is the kind of last question. I want to go around to every single person. What needs to change? That's the kind of final kind of question. I'll start with you, Ty, and I'll go to Leon, Rhino, and then Neji to end it with. What are you saying?
Yeah, I just think the players need to be more brave. I think Ten Hag needs to be brave and more concise in his decisions. I think he might be overthinking a little bit because the pressure's on. But like I said to you, 5 games now, Palace twice, Burnley on the weekend, Brentford and Sheffield United. I want to see 5 wins. Okay, we draw 1, I get it, but I want to see 5 wins. I want us to bounce back, and I want to see, I want to see Amrabat, if he's potentially fit for the Palace game, get some minutes. If he's on the bench on the weekend, cool, give him 30. But I want to see Varane back in. I want to see Amrabat in there in the midfield of Casemiro and Bruno back in the 10. And I want to see Rashford, Højlund, and then Pellistri. Do you know what? I thought it was a hard game for him to show what he's really capable of, because you're playing against Alphonso Davies.
Same.
I think he should get another start against Burnley and see what he can do against that type of opposition, considering this is the best chance he's going to get. But I do believe in the manager still. I believe in these players. I think once we get 1 win, the wheels start turning. But let's stop conceding quick back-to-back goals. Let's stop going behind first in games, and let's just do the basics right. And I do believe we'll get out of this, man. I'm much more positive than what other Man United fans are right now. So yeah, Varane and Amrabat sort out that spine for me straight away. And then big shout out to Reguilon, because I think he's held it down so far.
Yeah. Listen, I've got I said I don't bring Reguilon, but you know what? It's been our best player, I can't lie to you, for the past 2 games. And that's also damning on the football club that a lone player is showing everyone up. You know what I mean? But that's another question. And Leon, what's got to change, man? What do you want to see now? Tyrone's saying 5 games, but I'm thinking 1 game. Let's 1 at a time.
Yeah, 1 at a time. Oh, by the way, actually, I'm not going the whole show without shouting out my boy. Martial's still got it. So you, man? That's it.
Listen,
Yeah.
by the way, that cameo, bro,
deserves
that
credit.
cameo was different
Good
level.
cameo,
I
yeah.
think he rolled back. He threw back the years. I was like,
Yeah, he did.
Martial, you know, come
He
on.
just drops a little bit of seasoning every now and then to remind you, look.
I was actually happy for him, but I was like, you know what, man, go on, Martial, man. Like,
Yeah,
yo, fair
fact.
play to you, man.
I
You
think
still
a lot
got
of
it.
people felt like that. We're down and out, and he actually came on and showed a bit of energy. So
Yeah, man. Because sometimes I feel like, you know, when he doesn't play a game, everyone's quick to judge him. But you know what? He was like, yo,
Quick question,
Hoyland,
Mandem.
don't worry, I'm still here.
Do you think he'll become an impact player maybe? Because he's getting a bit older, he's
Maybe that
losing
might
a
be
bit
better.
of his.
But I've said that though.
Yeah.
I've said that for people. Like, if he's an impact player, knows his role,
It
you know
might
what I mean?
work,
You
yeah.
know that word, yeah. Know your role. You know what, man? He might become an asset, but again, I'm not gonna expect him to now perform against Burnley.
Yeah.
I'm just
Same,
enjoying
man.
what I've seen, and that's that. But fair play to Tony Martial. He played well with that cameo that he had on. But yeah, Leon, what are you saying there? What's got to change? What do you want to see, man? Change.
Interesting. I was going to bring this up like 20 minutes ago. I was going to say to Mandem, how do we move it forward? Because it's end with like, and what do we think? I was originally going to answer this question a bit more like open for you guys, but I like the way that Ty answered it, where he said what I want. So what I want to see is I want to see a more adaptability from the manager. I want to see, these managers floating around, innit? Do you know what I mean?
They're floating around, man.
I was in the barbershop today and there's a Chelsea fan there and he's a big Jackson fan, innit? So every time I come in, I say, Jackson, has he scored yet? Okay, cool. No problem, brother. You just, you know what I mean? You don't need to play. Every time.
Bro.
Do you know what he keeps saying? He keeps going, he's trying, man. Have you seen the movement? I said, boy, I don't know. We don't judge the striker just off the movement, bro. But anyway, another story. I want to see more adaptability. I want to see interchange within the midfield. I want to see the manager make some tough decisions for this team. I'm going to be real with you guys yesterday, yeah? I am a big Martial fan, Ty, a big Martial fan. Just technically, I love him. I think he's great. Obviously, disappointed with the injuries. Yesterday's game for me, he should have taken Rashford off and put Martial there, and he should have left Hoyland on. That was it for me right there. Do you know what I mean? We have more of a chance of winning the game in that case. I want to see smarter decisions within the team. I want to see, like, I know we've had a lot of talk about like the dreaded word Bruno, but I need to see him just calm a little bit and just read his team a little bit better and lead it a little bit better in games, yeah. And to be honest with you, I think the main thing is I just want us to build momentum with the performances because then the results will come from that. I just feel like I don't know, like I'm sick of watching the team and I'm just sat there for half or 60 minutes and I'm just like, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? So, but that's it for me.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it for me, really, because I feel like if we get the performances right, the players will come back and the momentum will start to build bit by bit by bit by bit. But it definitely starts with him making some decisions because some of the guys that he's picking right now and he's living and dying by are not producing. So, yeah, and I want to see Neji explain his point on another podcast about the Bruno thing because that was crazy. I was mad.
Yeah, that for another podcast.
Confused,
Rhino. Yeah, definitely. I don't want that. Rhino.
Yeah.
What were you saying, man? A lot of players have got to perform. A lot of players got to perform.
For me, the main thing for me is finding some way to get these guys' mentality back to where it needs to be.
Okay.
You know, so I want to see Ten Hag try and work behind the scenes and uplift these guys and, I don't know, figure it out somehow. But it goes back to adaptability as well for what you guys have said. He needs to adapt more. Come into these games, tactically against Arsenal, we started off well. Against Bayern, we started off well. Find a way to maintain it. Find a way to make changes along the way to keep it, to sustain it. So adaptability is definitely the main thing I want to see Ten Hag do. And I want to see him be more harsh as well. I want to see him play for the game, play for the team. I can understand why you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you make a quick change. If it goes wrong, people are going to criticize him anyway. If he doesn't make the change, they're going to criticize, you know what I mean? But at least we know, we can say objectively from today, okay, Ten Hag has started to make the changes, but now the players have let him down. We can more have that kind of argument that, okay, you know what, he did try, but this person let him down. They are letting him down as well. I think the players have to take some criticism. The players are letting him down. There's something wrong with the fact that they're not consistent. So mentality of the players needs to be worked on. Let Ten Hag adapt. If you have to take off Rashford, take off Rashford. Because I do believe if Martial and Hoyland are on, they're both more dangerous in opposed to keeping Rashford that has kind of died out towards the end of the game.
Yeah,
so
I like to see
Hoyland
and Martial link up one time.
Yeah, man, that's going to be beasting. Yeah.
So yeah, adaptability and mentality from the players, but yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yo, Saeed, the comments are saying skip Najee.
Yo,
Tyron,
say,
yeah.
yo, can you know what they do? Can you condense it then? Can you condense it for us
I'll
in
try,
like a
man. I'll
minute
try,
too?
man. I'll try.
Yeah, please. Because I know you articulate, and you know what? It's always good to have articulate people on the panel because that's what it's about, man. So you
Listen,
get me?
listen,
no English scientificness now.
Listen, people, man. I'm just like United, man. Hated, adored, never ignored. You know what I mean? It's one of them, man. So it is what it is, people. Listen, I don't. It's just the way I am, man. I've always been that way. I've always had a deep mind. I've always tried to get to root things, so that ain't gonna change for nobody. So if you're on board, cool. If not, then I'll try my best to articulate myself better. Anyway, man, it is what it is. I think the nuts and cranny of it is I'm not as I'm not as frustrated or as pissed as most of the fan base. I just see I see football differently. It doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. I just see it in a different way that allows me at least to have a bit more patience than the norm. So I'm cool with what's going on in the pitch. Yes, I appreciate there's mistakes. Yes, I appreciate from players, manager, off the field as well. But I think he'll work it out, and I think he's trying to work it out at the same time. And I'm just hoping that we can go and get a win and be more solid for 90 minutes. I think that's where I'd finish it on, boys. Just have a solid 90 minutes performance, or at least 70, 80 minute performance, and go get that win. So,
A quick question, AG. What do you think we need to do to get to, in your opinion, what would you do to keep us sustainable throughout the 90 minutes in the game?
How much time have you got, bro?
Time, because we're gonna wrap it up now.
Exactly,
Harvey Spencer's tight out here looking for Amrabat save us, bro. Listen, Amrabat was in my. You know what's mad? Amrabat was in my ends yesterday, you know. But obviously, I didn't want to put it on social media and that. Yeah, he was in my ends and that watching the game, man. So, yo, you know what I mean, man? I'm gonna have to chat to him and say, yo, get on the pitch ASAP, man. But shout out to Amrabat, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, listen, people, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. Please do like the video. The likes are what makes the channel. It goes to reach so many people around YouTube. And like I said, people, man, subscribe to the MANDEM. Never a foul. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ty doing big things over there. Trafford Tunnel as well. So yeah, man, big up to you, Tyrone, man, for jumping on, man.
Respect, man. I love every time. Next week, you know what I'm saying? We'll be here on the Wednesday before after the Palace game.
No, after the Palace game, yeah.
So hopefully we're celebrating a couple of wins, man. Burnley and Palace, let's get it. But like the video, people. Subscribe, big up, say every time. Leon, Rhino, Neji, you know what it is, man, every single time. And I hope you guys enjoyed it in the comments as well, man. You guys have been there from the start, so big up.
Big up, man. Big up, man. Leon, big up to you, man, as usual, man. Love for coming on, bro. What do you want to say, man? Shout them out.
Yeah, man. No, just follow me, Leon's Reality. I've got lots of boxing things going on. Just want to give a shout out to one of my people. This weekend, there's a girl from my boxing gym who's been there from 13 years old, and she's over in America on the same card as Conor Benn, and she's fighting for all the titles. She's fighting for unification. So she's come from Derby down the road from me. She's a local. She's lived on a council estate. She's fighting for every single belt out there. And yeah, it's stuff that dreams are made of.
Man, so dreams, bro.
Yeah, big up Sandy Ryan. Check out One Nation Boxing. That's where we're at. That's where the magic happens. And big up Neji, Rhino, Said, and Amrabat. Big up, man. Hopefully you're back soon, man.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up, man.
That comment, you know, because it's Harvey Specter as well. That comment was,
man.
You know what? I just need him. The bad thing is, I need Amrabat to deliver, because if he doesn't, I'm getting cooked.
Oh, pressure. Yeah.
They're getting memes, man. I'm telling you, they're getting memes are coming out, bro.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Tyrone, big up to you, man, for coming on, bro.
Wait,
not Cyril, sorry, Rhino.
Rhino.
Yeah, my bad.
I thought we rewinded for a sec.
Bro, I'm not
I pull up.
Yeah.
No, you're good. No, big up the chat as always, man. Appreciate you guys in the chat sharing your opinions as well. Big up the MANDEM. Get me? You know the MANDEM talk goes off all the time. We all share our opinions. We say it as it is. Follow me, Rhino MGTV on YouTube. Big up Said always for having me. Love to Tyrone, Leon, and AG all the time. Big up Musa as well. That's not here, but. Yeah, come on, man. Like out the video, people, man.
Come on, man. Come on. And Neji, man, for all the Pruno propaganda, you need it. It's there, man. What you saying, Neji?
You know? Nah, you lot do the propaganda, man. 24/7. Why are you flexing, bro? What's this?
No, I was checking your head's all right, man. I was checking.
No, there's a guy, you know. Yo, listen, my lyrics slapped off that flipping Rasta hat. Don't worry, man. I did bits. But listen, people, of course, you already know, man. World's greatest heavyweight baller that you're gonna know. Sorry, Saeed, it is what it is. We have to have that game out one day. It is what it is, man. Yeah, tell what we need to do. Yeah, you have your team, I have my team, and then we just have them cams that just focus on me and you. We'll just see who's the techie. Who's the techie one? I think that's
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Ready for that.
We'll do it, man.
But yeah, man. Of course, all the people in the comments always love, man. Whether you agree with me, disagree, I don't have an ego to hate, man. It's just it is what it is. I can handle differences of opinion. And I can also handle those with the similar mindset. It's all love in the end of the day. So nothing but respect for me. Again, make sure you hit the like for Saeed. All the work that my man is doing is crazy right now. We can't tell the MANDEM in the comments about the work that he did in Spain. That's a different conversation for another day.
Hey.
No wonder you're tired, fam. Is that why you're tired, fam?
What happens in time stays in power,
you tired?
Say, right?
Yeah, man.
Listen, man, we're tired. We're tired. That's all it is.
For that one. That's been like,
What's up? Yeah. What's up, chat? What's up, chat?
So if you need anything from Sunshine 47, SONSHINE 47 on all platforms, and I'm building my TikTok up now as well. So make sure you go check that out as well.
Come on. Yeah, man. Big up to you, man. Solid show today. I'll be back tomorrow with some more content, man. And like I said, man, hopefully we get the win, man. Ty says it. By next MANDEM talk, we need to beat Burnley and win that Carabao Cup, man. Then, you know what? It might feel a bit good, man. I feel like this fan base just needs to feel a bit good. You know, when you just put on a suit and that, you know what I mean? You go to a party, you feel good wearing a suit, man. I feel like people just wear a suit or whatever the dress they want to wear and just feel good.
No better, and you know what? No better time than this Saturday, under the lights, 8 p.m. Everyone's watching. We need to do it.
Saeed, can you lock it off? Because the comments are going off about you in Spain. I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
I need you. Man like Saeed White. Yo,